From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning on Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we're going to go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more checks from those Democrats. Then we cut to the recon. A done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. This is the biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. Checks for all walks of life, including seniors and workers, checks for you, tens of thousands of dollars of checks, and I have it in the second half of this video. Then we cut to the voting. The bipartisan was supposed to get done last night. Did it get done? Will it get done today? I have everything that's going on right now because the Senate is in session and they're working today. I have the breaking news about what happened last night and what's happening this minute. It's a big Sunday with a lot of breaking news across the board. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which starts within just days as we go into September, raising your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, and VA. And then one viewer hearing me on camera saying that he had gotten $32,000 from my recordings, realizing he could get more money, and he did. He got $50,000. I'm going to show you how you get this big money for rent, utilities, food, and internet, and how you too can get $50,000. It's a big, bold, beautiful morning. I'm excited you're here. Let's get to it. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. I'm here. You're here. And this is Mornings LALATE. Thank you for joining me on a special Sunday morning because there's a lot of breaking news. The Senate is in session. They're actually voting today. They voted last night. I have a lot of breaking news all throughout the day. You cannot miss a single Sunday broadcast today because they're in session and they're working on the legislation. How are you, though, first? How's the weather? Boy, it's been paradise here. We've been very fortunate. It was so cold last night near the beach, you actually needed a sweater. In the mid to low 50s, high in the mid 70s, it's paradise. So jump in the live chat, tell me where you're tuning in from, and how's the weather on this Sunday morning's broadcast. First, we're going to go over the monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to have more months of checks from those Democrats. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. These is the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. It's going to get you $10, $15, $20,000 under this fourth stimulus recon, and I have all the breaking news about this as well. Then we got to the voting. There's voting happening today. I'll go over the voting results from last night and the voting results from today and what is anticipated for Monday. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which is just a few days away from starting in September, out for legislation across the board for SSI, SSDI, and VA reform. And then finally, this, my goodness, one viewer had gotten $32,000 from this channel. His name is Mark, and he heard me on camera say, Mark, go get the remainder of SNAP. You haven't gotten it. He got $19,000 of SNAP, bringing his grand total to $50,000. I'll show you how you can get this big money as well. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, like right now, and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Morning's Crypto. If there was ever a crypto show you need to watch, it's that one this morning. It'll be live on air. And why is it important? Because I'm going to go over one of the most important amendments in the bipartisan legislation, which is about crypto. And it's the one that's taking up the whole Sunday afternoon, but it's going to be in the crypto broadcast. Then at noontime, I'm back with you live on air. Then afternoons LALATE shows 1 o'clock, then a new 3 o'clock show, and then 5 o'clock. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I want you part of this wonderful family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Thank you for all the membership growth and upwards of 200 new members a day. Massive subscribers growth as well in the last few days. Let's cut to that monthly stimulus check. Senate versus House, House versus Senate. Let's go over the number of checks right now and the payouts. When you look at the number of checks and the payouts, they are slightly different. Here we go. House versus Senate. House is a monthly stimulus check, July to December. And then, House is a monthly stimulus check for pandemic plus 1 year. Senate is July to December. Then let's go over the payouts. House is $1,000 after the first month. Senate monthly unknown, but word on the streets the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Well, new news today say that there's over 100,000 new COVID cases a week, saying that our numbers are going out of control with Delta, Delta Plus, and Lambda. That means that the House bill would pay you the full extent of the bill, which is pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus check, which would be more than 12 checks, which would be more than $13,000 from the House. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Who gets this monthly stimulus check? You do. The Democrats represent that. If you got a third, you're getting a fourth. Single individual, 75,000 less. Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 less. Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, VA, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. It's the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. I learned my lesson wrongly. So 2 weeks ago, today, I was on the beach recording to you live. And one viewer said, "Hey, LALATE." I said, "What? Is that the check behind you?" Where? Oh, there he is. The viewer said, "Wave at the check." I said, "Really? Come on now." The viewer said, "No, wave at the check." All right. "Hey, Check, how are you? It's LALATE. You don't recognize me because I'm not wearing purple, but how are you?" Didn't wave back. Rude check. I told the viewer it's a rude check. The viewer said, "No, it's not a rude check, LALATE. It's just not a waivable check. I watch your videos." In the second half of this video, we'll be going to the recon and why this is incredible great news. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. You know, you're going to see in a second how viewers are getting $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 under third stimulus. That's this big. Well, fourth stimulus is this big. And get ready to get even bigger sums of money under this fourth stimulus recon at $3.5 trillion. It's incredible great news. Then we cut to the big money of then we cut to the big voting today. The voting continues today on the bipartisan. Why did it not get done on Friday? Why did it not get done on Saturday? What are they doing today? When are they starting the recon? Which one's going first? Which one's going second? It's the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay at the very end. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which is just days away in September. I have all the details about that raise of your benefits of SSI and SSDI. But first, let's get some money. Get a pen and paper ready because we're going to get some rent, utilities, SNAP, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance. When I started making these videos a few weeks ago, I said, for rent, I could get you 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000. I was wrong. I can't just get you $5,000 of rent. No, I can get you $27,000 of rent. As Elizabeth got $27,000 of rent, Mark got $25,000, Nancy $24,000, Richard $22,000, Nisi $20,000. These are viewers, these are subscribers, these are Purple Hawks who understand how information is king and how information puts money in your pocket. We also have Pamela got $12,000 of rent. Carla got $1,700 for utilities. Tiffany, $13,000 of rent and other items. Carla also got some SNAP, $3,000. Randy got $6,000 of rent and utilities. Jennifer, $5,000 of rent and also utilities. And Cecilia, money as well. When we talk about utilities, I said I can get you $300 over utilities. Well, guess what happened? Bam. $7,000 for utilities for Nancy. Incredible, Nancy. Congratulations. Mark, $6,500 for utilities. Angela, $5,000 for utilities. And if that was not enough, then I said for SNAP, I can get you $4,000 to $6,000 of SNAP. Well, guess what happened? This is what happened. Oh my goodness, Louie. Louie got $18,000 for SNAP. John, $10,000 for SNAP. And Nancy, $5,000 for SNAP. And suddenly viewers understood the magnitude of getting multiple sums of money, whether it's rent, utilities, or SNAP. And what happened? Are you ready? Here we go. Drum roll. Bam. Wow. Nancy got $32,000 by watching my videos from rent, utilities, and SNAP. Mark, with 2 items, got $32,000 from rent and utilities. And Nisi, $23,000 for rent, utilities, and SNAP. And boy, there you are. But there was a twist. What's the twist? Well, the twist was Mark only got 2 items. at 32,000. So all last week I said on camera facetiously, I said to Mark, why aren't you getting SNAP? Bring it to 40,000. Just get the SNAP because, $32,000 doesn't cut it. I was being facetious. And he heard me. He heard me. And just days ago, he did it. He went and got SNAP. So did he bring it to 40,000? No. He brought it to 50,000, getting $19,000 for SNAP. And Mark has now amassed $50,000 by watching the videos of this channel, is telling everyone to come on over because this kid is the real deal and this is LALATE. We've been doing this since day one. In spring of last year, people's EIDL loans and grants were not approved. I stepped in and I got viewers $25 million of EIDL grants approved, saving their businesses, their homes, and their employees' homes. I was getting 5, 6, 10 loans a day at 100,000 approved. It was insane. And these are loans that were stuck and weren't going anywhere. And I stepped in and got them approved for them. Then in fall, second stimulus was struggling. Fall 2020, second stimulus checks were not coming. So I stepped in and I said, hey, there's no check. Let's get some money. And I got viewers $250,000 for rent. Tyrone, his family, out of Boston. $15,000 paid all their rent to the new year. And now we're doing it again. The only difference is you. You are incredible because you understand the magnitude of all these stimulus packages have stimulus checks, but the big payouts are these sums of money. So if you haven't gotten that money, get that pen paper ready because today is your chance. We're going to get some big sums of money. We can get some rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance. We're going to reach out to different places with different eligibility. One may say yes. If one says no, reach out to the next. They have different eligibility. They have their own pot of money. Also listen to the keywords because the keywords help you get approved. Let's start with the rent. Here you go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance or utility assistance because of COVID. And that's it. Very simple. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's Delicious Lobster Fest. No, they don't know that. They don't even want to think about it. And there you go. Congratulations to everyone who got this wonderful money for rent, whether it's Tim and Linda who got it recently or everyone else who got the 20 to 27,000. If you got rent or utilities, post your success stories in the live chat right now. Let's cut now to some SNAP. What is SNAP? SNAP is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. What's the eligibility? Easier than a stimulus check. And Louis got $18,000 for this. Mark got $19,000. Lynn Glenn got it for herself. Her son and her mom, Gail, got it as well. What is SNAP? It is incredible. How much does it pay? A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because there's 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. And congratulations to those who got SNAP as well. If you got it, post in the live chat right now. And we're just getting started. We're only 13 minutes into this video, and we've gotten $27,000 for rent, $8,000 for utilities, $18,000 for SNAP, and we're just getting started. The next part of the money is the refund check coming back from your state due to overpayment and a computer error. Not your computer, theirs. Where's the landing direct deposit? Can you track it? Yeah, contact your state. Say, hey, state, where's that check due to computer error? Can you track it with your computer? And when you do, can you turn on the computer and plug in the keyboard? You just sort of sense they're not doing that, don't you? And then finally, the last refund check. Oh, and some viewers got $3,000 and $5,000 for this. The next refund check is finally coming back from IRS for that 2020 tax return. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. And guess what? It's a waivable check. No joke. Mitch is going to be angry. It's a waivable check. There's a new wave of checks every week. The IRS confirms, and the latest wave is deliciousness. $1,265. Wow. Average. Direct deposits for that wave was July 14th, and paper checks July 16th, a new wave every week. But first, let's pause and do a personal message, which is, this channel is about me helping you. It's also about you helping others. So if you haven't, go into the live chat right now and post your success stories for rent, utility, mortgage, and homeowners utilities. Because when you do, you help other people. You do 3 wonderful helping things when you post your success stories in the live chat. Number 1, you inspire people to go get those sums of money because then they realize, wait a second, I never knew that SNAP exists. Let me go get that SNAP. As Mark got inspired from all of you this last week, he never thought of getting SNAP. And then you may have an electric bill or gas bill or heating bill, and you realize, wait a second, I need that bill paid. Let me go get it paid. as other viewers got paid, like Mark, like Angela and Nancy. Everyone has a rent bill, and then you'll realize, wait, Nancy and Elizabeth got their rent paid. Let me go get it. Second, you'll get inspired to get multiple sums of money. It started with Nisi and Art Sullivan. Art Sullivan got 3 items from this channel. Nisi got 3. And then suddenly other people got inspired. Nancy got 3 at 32,000. But you saw what happened last week. I was laughing about Mark being facetious. I said, you only, quote, only got 32,000 with 2 items. I said, Mark, go get the 3rd item. He listened to my videos religiously. He told his friends to listen. And he went and got $19,000 for that 3rd item, snap, bringing his grand total to 50,000. And that is the true embodiment of people helping people. All right, let's go back to that unemployment benefits. How much? Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of taxes total, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. You're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. It'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you pay 70% of the time. It also reveals some stuff you didn't want to know. Some stuff you just wish you had forgotten. Like it'll reveal when Mitch was on Star Search and sung that lullaby song for Chuck. Was it Slave to You by Britney? And finally, it'll reveal the refund check you came back from IRS. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the fourth stimulus recon. Third stimulus recon was about this big. And imagine viewers getting $20,000 to $50,000 because of my videos when the recon was this big. This next recon, fourth, is this big, $3.5 trillion. And you're going to get tens of thousands of dollars of checks from this as well. This is a lifetime achievement by Bernie Sanders because he fought to get you these checks over his lifetime. Now, how did they do this? Because originally before July 4th, the recon had roads and bridges in there, making it not passable. But the Democrats met and decided to take the roads and bridges out of the recon and put it into something called the bipartisan, making both the bipartisan and your money passable. The confirmation comes from a conservative publication days ago that says that that worked. And it says the following, that originally the recon was just too big. The higher the price tag was on the recon originally, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, and put it in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable, and also vice versa. The recon has now made the bipartisan passable, and both will pass in the Senate within just hours or days. Wow. Now, once the Democrats had shrunk the recon, they beefed it up a little bit more to get to a big price tag to accommodate all the checks they want to give to you. And those check prices brought it to $3.5 trillion. Like Representative Richie Torres, he wanted something in there for rent checks for you. So he wanted it big and bolder. He got it at $3.5 trillion. I want a larger recon. You got it, Richie, $3.5 trillion. And Representative Ilhan Omar wanted to give you other checks as well. She said we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want it because we have other checks we want to put in there. She got it, $3.5 trillion. In fact, the Progressive Caucus was meeting with the White House daily to ensure they can have a big enough recon because of all the checks they wanted to put in there. And they got it. How did they achieve this? By protecting the recon. Because the president told the progressives everything that's in the recon is progressive and protected. Brian Schatz and Jalopal confirmed the confirmation of the statements from the White House. The White House had said, quote, they consider the progressive priorities in the recon their own priorities. So what's incredible great news is that the progressives have become very aligned with the president in the last 7 days. Where do we start this week? We started this week with no eviction moratorium and no freeze on student loan debt repayment, which means you have to pay it, meaning it's not on hold. How do we end this week? The reverse. Why? Because of progressives. First, the eviction moratorium. The president on Monday said, I'm not doing it. Sorry, tough luck. I'm worried about the courts. And then Representative Bush, St. Louis, 1st District of Missouri, did not roll over. She pushed like a purple power and had nightly vigils on Capitol Hill to push to get that eviction moratorium put back in place by the president. By the end of the week, the president changed course 150% and said, I'm putting it back in place. She did the true embodiment of the purple power. Second, the week started with no student loan debt repayment freeze in place. It ended with the freeze in place. Why? Because of the pushing from Elizabeth Warren and the progressives in the Senate. And that took weeks of work, and it worked. That's the alignment of the president with the recon. and also the progressives. So what is a recon? Who writes it? Who votes on it? When is it debuting? How does it get voted on? Let me go over all the details starting right now. I use two words in this channel, recon to refer to your money and bipartisan to refer to the roads and bridges. And while those are the words I use, 90% of broadcast media are butchering the coverage of the story by using incorrect terms or incorrect pricing. So what I want you to be able to do is be more informed than even they are, because when I turn on the broadcast media, I constantly hear the wrong reports. So I want you to know it better than they do. All right, let's go over all the details so you're educated. Recon, your money. This is the 3.5 trillion. It's also called reconciliation. It's also called the budget bill. You'll recognize it if the price tag is 3.5 trillion in the article, or the people quoted are a AOC or a Bernie. Bipartisan, not your money. This is the roads and bridges, also called the infrastructure. Smaller price tag, 1.5 trillion. People quoting an article about it are Kristen Sinema, Ron Portman, or Mitt Romney. Okay, that's all easy. Let's go over who votes in favor of a recon. A recon is voted in favor of by Democrats and voted against 100 by Republicans, but the tie-breaking vote is the vice president. So only Democrats are passing the recon. Who writes the recon? The recon is written in subcommittees of the House by Democrats. That House subcommittees under the Constitution delegate different subject matters. So for example, House Ways and Means, stimulus checks, unemployment benefits. When each of the subcommittees are done, let's say there's 10 of them, they send their pages up to Chuck. Let's say it's 10 pages, 100 pages, he combines it. He puts a big S on it for salty, sugar-coated. So what? Schumer-ish, Laverne and Shirley. No, for Senate. And that's because it then becomes your Senate reconciliation bill. We may see it within hours from now. But guess what? Until we see the recon bill, it's not bill yet. We have an emoji for it. Why don't we have the bill? Because in the Constitution, there's no requirement of transparency. They don't have to show you what they included, what they didn't include. And when the bill is debuted, then we see what's in there. And guess what? In the third part of this video, I'm going to go extensively over the next step, which the bill will not be the law. That bill will be very different than the final law because the Democrats have already indicated they're modifying it in the Senate and modified it in the House. That's coming up later in this video. So how do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck called the vote on the recon. Well, the recon voting is just hours. You heard me right, hours away. And that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of the 100-plus House Democrats who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow. Can we top that? We can. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee recently wrote the president a letter saying they're putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow, Purple Power, you got to keep these people pushing and make sure they keep their promise. They're promising monthly stimulus checks. They're also going to do a 5th. Can we top that? Yes. Biden did it. He went overseas 6 weeks ago for a ceremonial signature, but the formal signature was a few days ago. It's for something that's confusing, complicated to say, and doesn't belong in the forced stimulus recon. It's the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum. Why is this great news? Because it doesn't belong in the recon. It's just too complicated. Number 1, easier to write the recon. Number 2, easier to call the vote on the recon. Number 3, easier to vote on the recon. And number 4, easier to pass the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. And can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, as we go over everything that's breaking today, yes, Senate is in session. Yes, Senate's not leaving. Senate is not recessing. They're working today. They're working on Monday. So what did they do yesterday? What are they doing today? What are they doing tomorrow? When does the recon get passed by the Senate? When do they both head to the House? And when is the step after that? And what is the substantive elements you need to know as well? It's coming up in the final 15 minutes. A lot of breaking news on a Sunday. I told you to stay with me all weekend long. You did a great job yesterday. Saturday's numbers were through the roof. Today should be through the roof as well because there's a lot of voting happening today. It's coming up in just a second. But something more wonderful than that is the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, food, or internet, reach out to them. Where are they? Open the description of this video. You'll find an emoji of a house. Click the link. It'll send you over to the community page. It's news.la.com/community. They'll help you get that big money for rent, utilities, food, and internet and more. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with a short update about fifth stimulus, and then we'll go right into the voting of fourth stimulus today. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on Mornings LALATE as the toast is toasted and the butter is buttering and the Senate is in session. The Senate is heading to the finish line on the bipartisan. Will they get it done today? I have the latest details in the final 15 minutes of this video. I told you a big day because Congress is not let to go home, and they're not going home anytime soon on the Senate side. So there's a lot of breaking news day in, day out, especially today. It's coming up in just a second. Then we cut to Fistimals as well. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button. 400,000 in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth this last week, and thank you for yesterday's massive numbers. Next stop, 1 million. Like this video, 3,000 likes. Every like helps. And consider becoming a Purple Hawk with 200 new Hawks daily now joining this channel. Incredible. Let's cut to the breaking news, starting with this stimulus shortly, just for a second. The president promised this during the campaign trail, but did not deliver it when he became president. Then he said it again during the transition times, and he did not deliver it again. So the Democratic caucus is taking care of this for you, and it starts to heat up within just days. This is the SSI reform that kicks in September. In September, they start the fifth stimulus. Legislation, which will start drafting in September, go to a vote in November. This is to raise your benefits up lifetime. Then they'll apply the benchmark in December for next year's benefits. What is this? Let's go over the details. Step 1, they'll raise your benefit limits up. Number 2, they'll remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. How does this work? First, who is this for? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. They'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. When? In December. What will it be? Inflation. Where is it going? It's going to be transitory. That's a word said by Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, on Capitol Hill days ago. When? In December. Yes, exactly when they apply your benefits. What does that mean? It means it's going to reach a spike before it goes back down. What is a spike going to be? I've been reporting about 5%. If you watch yesterday's afternoon's LALATE, I did almost 3 minutes of video going over the economic data that suggests maybe it's going to even be a higher inflation rate. But let's use 5% for now. First, they'll raise your benefits up, then they'll apply a benchmark. And if it's 5%, your benefits will step up not just 5% next year, but lifetime. Then they'll remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. It's going to go away. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to end. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. Marriage penalty will be gone, and benefits will be restored. And you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear the marriage penalty. Finally, if you're on the live chat and you haven't become a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? Here's what you need to know, is that the Purple Hawks have laser focused on where the big money is. When second stimulus became law, it was a $600 stimulus check. And some people wanted to be focused on $600. I said, do not be focused on $600. You'll spend it within 1 week, and then you'll wonder where the next check is. I said, focus on the other big sums of money in the second stimulus package. I said, I can get you $6,000. I got Tyrone $15,000. It paid all his rent from December to March. And then in January this year, I launched the Purple Hawks to describe people who pounce, hawk, hawk, first before anyone else to get big sums of money, not small sums of money. Because third stimulus had a $1,400 stimulus check. And what did I say? You're going to spend the check, and then you're going to wonder where the next check is. I said, instead, I can get you 10, 15, $20,000. Money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 months from now. And viewers understood that messaging and realized, wait a second, third stimulus has tens of thousands of dollars in there. I need to be focused on getting that. The check's going to come, the stimulus check. But this is the big money, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. And they did. And that's why you see viewers who are absolutely now doing better than they ever did before by following the advice of this channel and getting $32,000 from the third stimulus, $23,000, and just $18,000 from one item, and upwards of $50,000 because they became a Purple Hawk and understood that information is king. So become a Purple Hawk. The link is underneath this video. Join here and get delivered to you daily from me via the YouTube page a breakdown of all the big monies that are in third stimulus. Remember, third stimulus was this big, and viewers got 30 to 50,000. Fourth stimulus is going to be this big. Imagine the money that you're going to get under fourth stimulus. And with that, let's cut to fourth stimulus recon right now. Fourth stimulus recon has $3.5 trillion of checks for you. It's astronomically bigger than third stimulus, astronomically bigger than second stimulus. It's the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. In fact, Bernie Sanders celebrated when he passed this among his Democratic caucus members because they've never seen anything like this in a generation. Checks for you of all walks of life. And I'm going to focus on getting each and every one of you these checks when it becomes law. Number one, the Democratic senators have met twice in the last week to pass the recon by price tag. They have agreed they're going to do $3.5 trillion, and they've agreed they're going to pass it. So what are the provisions that are in the recon? We could see the recon bill within the next 24 hours, but here is some of the items that are purportedly in that recon. Checks for all different walks of life, including my seniors and also my workers. Checks for farming, checks for elections, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy. And there's more checks across the board. Checks for free school meals, checks for tax breaks, checks for cheaper prescription medication, checks for immigration reform, and here come my checks for my seniors and more. We have checks for workers, checks for independent contractors, checks for unions, checks for seniors, checks for vision, checks for dental, checks for hearing care, and checks for lowering the eligibility age. All right, let's now cut over to the bipartisan, the roads and bridges. So what's the update on them? So they introduced the roads and bridges bill last Monday. Then they did amendments in this on the Senate side. Then they did amendments in the Senate on the roads and bridges from Monday through Friday. They thought they were able to call a vote on the bill on Friday on the bipartisan. They weren't. Then they said Saturday morning at 9 a.m. vote on the bipartisan bill. They were not able to. Then they said Saturday night on the bipartisan bill. They were not able to. So as we start Sunday morning, where are they and what's going on? They are still doing amendments on the bipartisan legislation. So they have still not called the bipartisan bill itself for a vote. Why is it still taking time? One, there is a senator from Tennessee who, and again, I'm going to say this very slowly, has not blocked the bipartisan, but is saying, why should we rush? Every time I say this, I want to sort of laugh. You should rush because everyone's exhausted. I mean, that's sort of really the reason. Everyone's exhausted. What do you just like not sleeping? You just like working 7 hours, 7 days a week? I mean, you should rush so we can get this done. We're all exhausted. That's the first reason. The other reason it's not done is they still have more amendments. And guess which amendments are holding it up? Crypto. Watch the video right after this, which is Morning's Crypto, which comes up at about 9:45. Well, it'd be almost 10:15 this morning, Pacific Standard Time. I'll be live on air. The crypto amendments, of which there's two different ones from both Democrats, conflicting ones, is holding it up. Not holding it up, but slowing it down. So could they finish the roads and bridges bill for a final vote Sunday? They're hoping they are. The Senate is in session, and if not, they'll do it on Monday. All right, so now let's cut back to recon. Let me go over timeline on recon, who goes first on recon, and then we're going to go over substantive on recon. Okay, first, timeline on recon. Recon will start immediately in the Senate, right after the Senate passes the roads and bridges bill in the Senate. It'll start immediately thereafter. But if, for example, if the roads and bridges passes today, Sunday in the Senate, then the recon would start Monday. How long does the recon take in the Senate? They're going to do the vote-a-rama on the recon in the Senate, which usually takes 2 days. So presumably it will be 2 days in the Senate, the recon for the vote-a-rama. The vote-a-rama allows amendments from both Republicans and amendments from Democrats. Now, it's Schumer, so maybe it could take more than 2 days for amendments, but generally vote-a-ramas are 2 days on the Senate side. So when would the recon actually start? It could start today, but it would likely start Monday. But everything is different. Here's what you need to know, is that not a time or place, and it shows lack of information if you say they're dragging their feet, they don't care. They're not dragging their feet, they're battling over legislation. They don't agree upon a provision, they're battling over it. It's not that they're not doing anything, they're battling over the legislation. So recon potentially could start within hours on Monday morning for 2 days of potential voting. All right, then let's go over who goes first, that whole issue. The who goes first issue is fine where it is right now because 2 people hold the keys, Nancy and the president. Yes, Leader Schumer said originally the recon was going to go first in the Senate, and that the bipartisan was going to go second. It's not. That does not impact you at all. It's the Nancy equation and the presidential equation, which is what impacts you. And they're not moving. What's going on? First, the president says, again, on my desk in the White House, you must put 2 bodies of legislation, recon and bipartisan, for me to both sign. If you only put on my desk bipartisan, I'm not signing it. He actually says that. I'm going to give you the quote in a second. Then Nancy has also said very emphatically, do not send to me in the House only the roads and bridges, because I'll throw in the wastebasket. You must send me the roads and bridges with the bipartisan. Okay, what does that mean, the wastebasket? Let me explain what that expression means. Basically, Nancy Pelosi determines when things are called for a vote in the House. No one else has a say about it. They can't say, I don't like you, Nancy, I want to overrule you. It's her determination. Her determination is she will never call for a vote, the roads and bridges, and have it die in the House if you only send her roads and bridges. You must also send her recon. It's the reverse of Mitch McConnell in 2020, where she sent him stuff, and he said, I'm throwing the wastebasket. I'm not going to call it for a vote. All right. And Jalopal has your back as well, because apparently all House Democrats are supporting Nancy in this position. So let's go over the quotes on this. First, the president, he says very clearly, he is not signing the bipartisan only by itself. He will not do that. He says the bipartisan, if only the bipartisan comes to me and that's the only thing coming to me, I'm not signing it. They must come to me in tandem. That's the president. He also says, as the bipartisan, I'm not just signing the bipartisan bill and forgetting about the recon. I propose another piece of legislation, the recon, and they're both equally important. So that's the president. He's protecting you. Then Nancy, she knows when quotes are going to go viral. And this quote she gave about 2 weeks ago because she knew it was going to go viral. Guess what? In the last 24 hours, the quote is everywhere because it's a very viral quote. Why is it viral? Because it uses very tough words like, don't play games with me. And here's what she says. As I said, there won't be a bipartisan bill unless we have a recon bill. Plain and simple. In fact, I say the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan bill unless we have a recon bill also passed by the United States Senate first. So there you go. And then Jalopal assures us that the House Democrats have Nancy's back on this. We need a poll of our members, Democrat members in the House, and the overwhelming majority of our caucus says they're not going to vote in favor of the bipartisan unless they also have the recon. Okay, so that is all easy breezy. Now let's cut back to the actual bill itself. So we could see the recon bill as early as today. If we will see the recon bill as soon as the bipartisan is finished. So the bipartisan is finished on Sunday, we could see the recon bill today. If not, if the bipartisan is finished tomorrow on Monday, we could see the recon bill on Monday. When we see the bill, now we're going to go to the substantive element. When we see the recon bill, it's not law yet. And in fact, that bill may not even resemble the law. Why? There's a series of reasons why. Number one, the Democrats actually tell us this. Democrats, progressives actually tell us this. Why is this happening? The reason why is the people who've had their hands on the recon over the last few weeks are just a few people. In these subcommittees, Democrats. But there's 50 Senate Democrats and 100 House Democrats who have said, you know what? I have not had my hands on it. I'm going to amend it when I get it. And this is great news for you because we've always seen legislation that needs amended, and this will get amended. By reference point, as I just explained to you, the roads and bridges have been undergoing amendments for 1 week. 1 week. And that is just in the Senate. So if the Senate Democrats want to modify the recon, they will. And trust me, they've already said they're going to. More importantly, the House Democrats are many more progressives than the Senate side. And if something's wrong in the recon, they will modify it. And why is this great for us? Because a week like this, where we started the week with no eviction moratorium, and we started the week with no student loan debt freeze in place. When the announcement came out, you're not going to get it. Did they roll over and say, I'm tired, I'm not going to do anything? No, they truly embodied the purple power spirit, absolutely in shape and form. Representative Bush from St. Louis said, I'm not going to accept the eviction moratorium ending. I'm going to push. I'm going to push, and I'm going to sit on Capitol Hill night and day with a nightly vigil until the president gets the message, you need to put that back in place. And he got the message, and they put it back in place. That's called pushing purple power. Then Warren, Sanders, and others said, you have to extend the student loan debt repayment freeze. You can't let these kids go default because they can't pay their debt. You have to put that freeze back in place. They fought and fought and fought, and this week it got put back in. So that is also very important to understand. Now let's go finally to the issue of session, which is very important for you to understand. Senate's in session. Senate's not leaving. House is not in session. House will be coming back. First, let's go over the Senate. The Senate is in session, and it's not leaving. Chuck Schumer reassures the American people the Senate will never end its current session until both the recon and the bipartisan is over. Now, understand that works on our benefits because they've been working 7 days a week, 16-hour days, for 3 weeks, on the longest Senate session in over a decade. They're tired. They're over 80 years old. So they're going to lose their energy, and they're going to say, I can't keep on doing this. They're going to just eventually cave in and say, fine, done. It helps us. Number two, the House-Senate session helps us as well. No one else in broadcast media is picking up this nuance except me. What's the nuance? Nancy can kill the recon, can kill the bipartisan roads and bridges easier than you realize. How? If you only send Nancy the roads and bridges and not the recon, she could just not call them back into session in the House. And it's dead. Because guess what? The legislation ends at the end of the spring session. This roads and bridges bill, the reason why they're trying to get this done, the reason why they're trying to get the recon done, is because we're in a session right now. But once we go into September, we're in a new session. All this legislation's over. It's poof. So that is why Nancy has an extra card that no one's realizing until I branch it on the air, which is I can just never call them back in session if you don't give me the recon. Now, let's go over calling them back into the recon. The recon could potentially get done within just a few days from now on the Senate side. And with that, all Nancy has to do is give an order or Steny Hoyer in the House and say, you're back in session. Within 24 hours, the House will be back in session. And then they start doing their amendments. Very easy across the board. And with that, a lot of breaking news as we approach the 46-minute mark on a big broadcast. But join me next on Mornings Crypto as I go over that crypto legislation that is in the roads and bridges and why that is causing a big battleground on Sunday in the Senate. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Join me next on Mornings Crypto, starting with 5 minutes from now, and then mornings and noontime LA, shortly after 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA Life.